Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Shadow Wraith and today we're going to be covering the top 5 monsters in Middle-earth strategy battle game. Now of course this is my personal list, so if you think I've missed anything, or if you don't agree with something, or if you do agree with something, let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear what you think. But do remember this is my personal list, so some things that you might think should be on here won't be, but this is from my experience. Straight away, we're going to jump straight in to the number 5 slot. And I've given this slot to the Ogre from Azog's Legion. And the reason for that is he's 60 points and he's pretty solid. He's got a movement of 8, which is faster than most things. He's fight 5, which is not amazing, but hey ho, he's a good troop killer. He's strength 6, defense 5, 3 attacks, which is awesome. He's got 3 wounds, so, you know, troll wounds. And he's only got a courage of 3, though. That's the downside. But he causes terror. And he's got a special rule called Relentless Advance. Basically, what that means is when an ogre charges into combat, it can pass through friendly orc, goblin, or bat models. And when he goes over them, they suffer a strength 3 hit. And then any models the ogre finishes its move on will be automatically removed as a casualty. But he can't be forced to like move into a charge, so he can't be compelled to do this or anything like that. So you're safe there. But the amount of times I've seen it where I've stuck a monster behind some enemies, or I don't know, I've been flanked or something, and I need to get something big with a bit of fight value behind it over there. The ogre's perfect for that, because you can get rid of your chaff, you know, goblin models, knock them out the way, kill them, who cares, because I need my ogre in. I need that fight 5, strength 6 in. And he's a monster, so perfect. I really like the ogre, and he's quite fun to paint, so hey ho. Going on to the number 4 slot on my list, we have got the Great Eagle. Now I love the Great Eagles. I play an army that is full of them with Bjorn, or Radagast, depending on my mood. And, I mean, he's better than the Ogre, which is why he's above him. I'll go through his stats, or her stats, whatever. So for 100 points, you get a movement 12 model, because it's got fly, 3 otherwise. It's fight 7, which is fantastic, so outfighting heroes. It's got strength 6 or strength 7 on the charge, because they get a +1 bonus to their strength when they charge. It's got defense 8, which is fantastic, because the amount of times bow fire have brought down my like ogres or cave trolls or something like that is ridiculous. So defense 8 is perfect for that. It's got 2 attacks, but it has got monstrous charge, so that's fine. 3 wounds, courage is 6, so it's not really running away. And it's pretty basic. It's got fly, monstrous charge, and causes terror. That's it. It's really fast, so it can go anywhere you need it to. It can fly over your models. Perfect. Happy days. And for 100 points, that's not too bad. Same points as a troll, but slightly better, I'd say. Then say the Isengard Troll, who's 110, so 10 points cheaper. The same fight value, same defense. They've got 1 extra attack, but you get an extra attack on the charge. So yeah, I'll take the Great Eagle. Perfect. Going on, we've got the number 3 slot. Now, these pop in because of a game I recently played where I got absolutely annihilated by them. Yeah, my poor Serpent Horde got absolutely stomped on. It was horrible. And these guys are most well known for beating up Isengard pretty good. And that is, of course, the Ent. Now, with these wooden boys, you are spending 120 points, a little bit more expensive. But for that expense, you get a Fight 7 model with a movement of 6, of course. That is Strength 8, that is fantastic. Defense 8, that is awesome. 3 attacks, 3 wounds, and Courage 6. And it's got Terror. It throws stones, which he's hitting on a 4+, so better than a troll. And it is strength 10 at the range of 18, his stone. And it's got woodland creature as well, because he is literally a tree. So yeah. And then the Ent comes with its own personal brutal power attack called Bludgeon, and you can imagine what that is. So basically you win the fight and you can pick an enemy model that is in combat with him. And if the model is cavalry, you just pick the rider up and the mount disappears. He's dismounted. So if you need to make a courage check, whatever. But that's awesome for getting rid of heroes on a mount. Straight away you get rid of his mount without striking. Because usually you have to dedicate a strike to the mount or something like that. But along with that, they can then choose another model in the combat and strike it with the bludgeon attack, and both targets, so the guy he's picked up and the target he's hitting, both suffer 1 strength 8 hit. If he kills the target that's not in his hand, he gets to do it again if there's another target who's on him. If that target dies, he gets to do it again until he runs out of things that can die or fails to kill the thing he hits. That's amazing. So you're almost definitely going to kill the thing that's in your hand. I mean, if you don't, they're just not prone, that's fine. But imagine being surrounded by, I don't know, Uruk-hai, for example, that's thematic, and you pick up anyone who's in combat with him, Lurtz, for example. That's multiple strength 8 hits on Lurtz, plus you're killing the guys around him as well. So you don't have to go, I'm going to have to pick Ren to try and kill Lurtz and only Lurtz. No, you can just keep doing strength 8 hits, boom, 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 boom. That is absolutely tasty. That is ruddy. Amazing. So, that's the Ent. Love the Ent. Yeah, 120 points. Not bad. Now we're going to the number 2 slot. And this was close with the Ent. Really, really close. But what swayed it? Well, I'll tell you in a minute. The number 2 slot goes to the Gundabad Troll. Now, the reason the Gundabad Troll is higher on the list than the Ent is because, well, A, you get an extra wound, which is fantastic, and it's his special ability. So not only you can do all the brutal power attacks that you want, awesome. I mean, his special rules, ancient enemy dwarves, ancient enemy elves, and I think that's like re-rolling ones to wound them. Sure, that's pretty handy if you're fighting either of them too, but not many people that play dwarves. Unless you come against Iron Hills, which means that person you're playing is filthy rich, or he's not anymore because he spent all his money on his army. And of course he caused terror. He's got 2 weapon options. Now, the Crushing Club is okay, but I'll tell you what it does. Wounds caused by strikes from the Gundabad Troll armed with a Crushing Club causes not 1 but D3 wounds instead. So yeah. And you determine the number of wounds caused before fate points are used. Awesome. Yeah. And then basically, if they survive, you roll a dice. On a 3+, they're knocked prone. That's not bad. That's not prone. That's pretty good at killing heroes. But you've got the Scythe Gauntlets. And what that does is basically give you +1 to wound. And, I mean, you can say what you like. If you prefer the club, go for it. But I went with the Scythes. A, I think it looks awesome on the model. I always go for rule of cool with my models. And B, +1 to wound is always awesome. And you're playing with a troll, so you're usually wounding things on 3s anyway. Yeah, it's nuts. And especially if you rend them, you're wounding on 3s, 2s. And then if you're fighting a dwarf or an elf, you're re-rolling. That's amazing. So you're pretty much going to kill whatever's there. Yeah, winning on 2s in this game is massive. Absolutely massive. So yeah, that's the reason I put this guy above the Ent. So, I mean, make with it, choose, I don't know. If you prefer the Ent, go for it. That's fine. Let me know. Now, moving on to the number 1 slot. It's a bit of a surprise, and it's not what most people would expect, but I've gone with the Dweller in the Dark for Moria. Okay, the reason he's number 1 is because of how cheap this model is, points-wise. He's 75 points. And for 75 points, you get a movement 8 model, which is awesome. He's fight 7, so that's amazing fight. He's strength 5, defense 5, so not too bad, not too bad. Could be better, could be worse. But, I mean, you just rend anyway, so who cares? And then he comes with 3 attacks, 3 wounds, and courage 7, so he's going nowhere. Courage 7 is insane. You know, you need a double 1 to fail. So, yeah, you're probably not going to roll a double 1. with that, he's resistant to magic, which is awesome because the big counter to monsters is magic to transfix them if you've got it or something like that. So yeah, anything like that. So even having a dice to try and resist it is awesome. But on top of that, he can also regain a wound. So whenever a dweller in the dark slays an enemy model in combat, it regains a single wound lost early in the battle. But Rend is the only brutal power attack that allows the dweller to regain wounds in the same manner. So basically it means you can't hurl one guy and regain like a bunch of wounds. So yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it just makes him a little bit more survivable because he's going to kill some stuff. Strength 5 rending, usually against, strength 3 models. Yeah, it's just point value for what he can do. That's what I went with. Anyway, thank you ever so much for listening to me. And if you're feeling especially generous today, please do hit that like button. Or even subscribe. But even if you don't, never mind. I still hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.